Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of March 2023. I hope you are well. I'm using what am I using here? The Night Sun Tarot for you today. Bit of housekeeping before we begin. If the reading resonates with you and you'd like to go a little bit deeper, there will be an extended that you can access at the end. That is the first link in the description box. The second link in the description box is to the 6-month overviews that I did for each of the signs. They run from January to June 2023, and since we're a little bit way through that period now, I have knocked the prices down accordingly. So if you're interested in finding out what that period of time has in store for you, you know what to do. And the third link is to my private community, the Order of the Phoenix, over on Circle. You can get access to all the extended content over there and also hang out with an awesome group of people. We talk about cool things all the time. So let's have a look and see what's going on with you, Pisces. I have 3 cards for Pisces. The first one is Strength. That's Leo in the Major Arcana. What about current energy for Pisces? We have the Ace of Cups. That's outstanding. I like that very much. And what about what's going towards you? We have the 4 of Cups in reverse. So this is looking very nice for you. We have another Leo card, the Sun, at the bottom of the deck here. Let's just get this deck out for... Oh, look at that. There you are at the bottom of the deck. Let's flip this around so you can see what I'm looking at. I'll straighten all of this up so you can see it. Tell me about strength. Whoa, okay. We have the Emperor in reverse. And whatever that is. And the Hierophant. Interesting. Tell me about the Ace of Cups. We've got 4 of Wands. And the 10 of Swords. And tell me about the 4 of Cups, please. Wow. I did a proper little pirouette on my thumb. We have the Judgment card, and we have the 10 of Wands with the 2 of Cups. No, 2 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Let me put these where you can see them. I'll try and get this all a little bit straighter than it is, because it triggers the shit out of me. Right. Oh, God. I don't put them straight. That way. There we go. So, what's really interesting here, Pisces, is just how much is going on underneath the surface. Now, don't guess we should be that surprised, because it's you, after all. You know, there are these singular archetypes, and I know for every sign I pull some main cards and then I pull some clarifiers. But the main messages here for you are really simple this month. They're very pure, they're very simple. The complexity is what's going on underneath. So we have in your recent past, we have the Strength card. Now that talks about strength, it talks about perseverance, it talks about character and the development thereof, of all of those things. But it does speak to personal growth, and quite simply, you have grown in this last small period. And it's not like you've just, you know, grown in an imperceptible way. It seems like you've grown in a very visible way to other people, you know, kind of a nod to the Leonine energy of both of these cards that are appearing here for you, both the Strength and the Sun cards. You know, whenever we're dealing with anything to do with Leo, we're talking about things that are visible to other people. The Sun card, in addition, talks about consciousness. And I think that just all round, you seem to be standing stronger in that which you believe, that which you know, and that which you're perhaps willing to share with other people too. It's quite interesting. Before I started this reading this morning, I've done Capricorns, and there was quite a lot in there of a message that revolved around the movement of Saturn into Pisces. That seems to be something that is coming up as a turning point. Pisces, your footprints were all over that reading. Absolutely all over that reading, for reasons that will be obvious to Capricorns when they watch it. And I feel this growth in you, this strength in you now. And did we not talk last month about making everybody be a bit more Pisces, instead of you bending to try and fit in with everyone else? It was like, this is your time. We are coming into your time now, and everybody else, you know, better start getting themselves in order from an emotional perspective. So there's something about the building of the power that we can feel as Saturn is getting ready to make this transition from Aquarius into Pisces that seems to be giving you life at this point. So it could be that you've found that you've had much more energy to do things, and we could see that with Leo, right? Leo is a very vital sign in terms of our physical, it's our physical energy. We've got the Emperor and the Hierophant here. Now, this is Aries, this is Taurus. Both signs that we would consider to be more traditionally powerful. Let's put it that way, right? You know, Taurus is fixed earth, and there's a lot of energy between fixed earth. And then we have, you know, cardinal fire with the Emperor. But where the Emperor is talking about control when he is in the upright, what we have is a reversal here. Now, there are ways of reading this to say, you know, this is somebody who is falling into, you know, hypercritical modes of being, or being almost like dictatorial or totalitarian in their approach to everything. But it feels more like there is much more of the energy of submission than there is of control. Now, this is something that is associated with Pisces, submission. We think about the Hanged Man, or that kind of thing, and the quiet or silent energy of the High Priestess. And it feels to me, Pisces, like you are coming into a state whereby you are teaching the world. You know, the Hierophant, there's a card that I dug into a little bit a couple of weeks ago, because I suddenly realised I didn't know what Hiero meant. And that was quite annoying to me, because I like to know about the etymology of words. So I looked it up, and it talks of the mysteries, the sacred. That's what Hiero means. And so the whole word together, Hierophant, you know, it's about somebody who can decode these mysteries. It's somebody who is a teacher. Now, whether you are actively a teacher, you know, whether you teach modalities or anything like that, or whether this is a passive concern for you, and I feel like it would be much more passive, it's about the way that you live, the perspective that you bring to life, that is proving to be that which teaches others at this point. You know, you're becoming visible in a way that you don't feel like you've ever been before. Tell me about this Emperor in reverse, please. The Emperor in reverse. We have the Ten of Cups with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck, of course. You know, true compassion is something that's quite difficult to come by at the moment. There's been a lot of weaponization of compassion. There's been a weaponization of empathy. It's almost like a weaponization of acceptance too. And you seem to be growing now in stature, in strength, in power, such that, you know, this ability that you have to merge with people, this ability that you have to be able to see things from other people's points of view, where you can, you know, you can listen with an absolutely non-judgmental ear and hear what is going on behind that. You know, whether it is the pain that somebody is experiencing or whatever it is, you know, you can hear it all, you accept it all, you take it into yourself, and it's almost like you wash it and you let it back out again. This here, this way round, I think is a really good representation of how we have functioned as a society. Both of these two cards together. Top-down control. Experts. People in charge who tell everybody else what to do. This era is coming to an end. And this is important because it's causing everyone to have to take a bit more responsibility, not only for themselves, but also the communities that they live in. It's almost like the more we are pushed to be divided, the more we are pushed to be accepting of increasingly more controlling measures, the more there is this decentralization And it's happening on an individual level, but it's expanding to communities where principles of love and forgiveness and acceptance and compassion are being pushed to the fore. You know, you only have to read the first 5 pages of any newspaper anywhere to see what an agenda there is to divide and separate. And this goes completely against the ethos of Pisces. It's like, no, we pull together. And there's something about the way that you are developing that is elevating you to the level of teacher, whether you're comfortable with that or not, for the good of the benefit, or for the benefit rather, of the community that you represent, that you're a part of. It is just like you are bringing the Piscean values right to the front of right in front of an audience and saying, well, hey people, we've tried doing it your way for a long time. We tried bending to your will, and we tried keeping you all happy, and it's just not working. And now we're going to try doing things a different way. And you seem so resolute in this, Pisces. There's something so graceful and yet authoritative about this, that when we come into your current energy, we've got that Ace of Cups right there, right? The seed of emotion, where everything is possible from there. Deep pain and deep distress, but also the most unbelievable heights of love. True agape. And there is this sense of something new being born out of what is ending. You know, we think about endings and they seem like such a terrible thing, but you are the last sign in the zodiac, or possibly the first. I think that there is a considerable amount of reasons why Pisces should be first in the zodiac. But for now, we will consider you to be more about the processing of the end and the readying for the new. So this Four of Wands here is the creation of a new foundation, right? It talks about joy, it talks about happiness, it talks about celebration, it talks about home. It's got that same kind of feel about it, a community, that this one does here. It's also a portal card. And this card is literally inviting people to walk through and experience the joy of the Ace of Cups. Yes, everything around you is difficult. It's a chaotic time to be alive. This is what happens when structures break down. But because you live in a state of being that is perpetually merging, that is perpetually interested with barriers being broken down, this walking into a new way of being seems to have you positioned perfectly to be able to invite people in. So yeah, everything's a bit shit at the moment. Yeah, inflation's pretty awful, and yeah, no, they're you know, everything's breaking down and it's pretty grim. Now, the people that are obsessed with structure and the people that are obsessed with rules and the parameters of existence will find that very difficult to navigate. This is something that seems very welcome for you. Very welcome indeed. It's like, come on everybody, this way. This is how we cope. This is how we survive. Let me show you what the Ace of... Fucking hell. So I've just picked up the deck and dropped a card, and it's the Four of Wands. Let me show you how to be. Let me help you find your spirituality. Let me help you find yourself. Tell me about these two cards here. We have the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy. And Is that not your opposite, actually, interestingly enough? And then we've got the Knight of Swords. You know, we've got we've got a state whereby we're moving away from the detail-oriented things. And we're moving into a much bigger picture. And in this state, you have found your voice, Pisces. We've got the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. It's a card that we associate with wishes and emotional fulfillment and, you know, getting everything that we want. That's often how it's talked about. But I think it's something so much more important than that, because the nines for me talk about the individual. They're talking about what you are doing with your emotions. As an emotional creature, as Pisces is, this is where you live. Like, this is your home domicile. For everyone else, it's new and it's strange and it's confusing. And you have the ability to be able to, I think at this point at least, guide people, if not absolutely lead them into something new. This is the Fool card here. I think it's outstanding that this Fool card's got a cat on it rather than a dog. Check that out. It's not going to focus, but it's a cat and it's playing with a bubble. I know a few Pisces people and they're obsessed with cats. My daughter's one of them, actually. The energy of the Fool is hopeful. It is joyful. It's naive and it's innocent. It is in its you know, full sense. Open. It trusts and it has faith. And, you know, Saturn moving into your sign, and your sign governing religion and spirituality and ancestral wisdom. It feels like an activation, Pisces. It feels like it's truly your time. And so the words that you speak at this time are really holding weight with people. Your perspective is really holding weight with people. The way that you think, that has been so different to everybody else, it's a blessing. Because it's showing people the way to go. It's showing people how we get through what is confusing and what you know could be mistaken as toxic, could be mistaken as the end of the world as we know it in some sort of way. So it's not, it's just end of a particular era. And so of course Pisces would be in charge of that. What about this Ten of Swords? Hierophant. Not just in charge of it, but teaching everybody else. You know, you're not going to find Pisces, I don't think, in a church, letting rip to people, decoding the word of God. That's not how Pisces works. Pisces is more like out here feeding the animals, communing with nature, being still like the high priestess, and understanding that there is a kind of teaching that can come from that to the ears of people who are able to hear. What's coming towards you in March is a great feeling of abundant gratitude. The Four of Cups for me is about rejection. Sometimes it's about the rejecting, the act of rejecting. Sometimes it's about boredom and about apathy. But when it's reversed, as it is here, it talks to me about the things that we feel an extreme sense of gratitude for. No matter how hard or burdensome things are, there's always something that gives us life. And maybe it's a cat, you know. It could be, I've just noticed the Ten of Wands is at the bottom of this deck as well. You know, maybe it's something as simple as a cat. Maybe it's friendship. Maybe it's the sense of being able to help people who need help. We've got the Judgment card down here, and that's a card of, it's a card of many things. It's a card of our own judgment, the judgment we form over things. I've already made reference to the fact that you are pretty non-judgmental. So it becomes our decision-making process and how comfortable we are in the act of making decisions with things. Something that I think Pisces usually struggle with quite a lot, because there are so many things to take into account. What did somebody actually really mean when they said that thing, when they asked that question? Do they really want me to make a decision, or were they just being nice? What secretly do they want the answer to be? Because I should probably reach for that one. I don't feel any of those kind of questions haunting your mind at this point during March, actually, Pisces. I feel like there's something much more decisive about the way that you're showing up, because everybody is looking to you to lead the way. And this might honestly manifest itself in all sorts of weird ways, where you just go into a shop to get, I don't know, like a snack or something, and somebody asks you a question about something, you know. Have you ever tried these sandwiches? Are they any good? You go, yeah, they're great. Really like them. Ooh, a little bit salty, something like that. Maybe the person behind the desk asks you a question. Maybe you get into a conversation with people about things. It doesn't feel to me like any of these are coincidental occurrences this month. It's almost like you're led to the people that need you to bestow your wisdom upon them. And they're asking you the right questions in the right order, and they're coming correct, which I think is really important when you approach the High Priestess. Because she is silent and she is quiet, and she doesn't usually volunteer information. She doesn't volunteer information, full stop. When you're approaching her, you have to say the right words in the right order. They have to be coming from the right place within you. And then you have to be open to hearing the answer. And your words have such weight this month that you can provide the answer. And it's almost like you're acting like an ethereal light in the dark that's just sort of swimming between situations. Tell me about this Judgment card. With the Five of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Emperor and the Death card. And the Star. Now the Star is a card of immense healing, and it's also the card of Aquarius, and it would be remiss of me if I did not mention that just before Saturn goes into Pisces, Pluto is going into Aquarius. There's two massive outer body shifts, outer planetary body shifts, will affect a lot of things at the same time. But where Pluto bobs in and out of Aquarius and Capricorn for 3 times between now and November 2024, I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe that Saturn stays in Pisces. So the work, our karma, all of the things that Saturn is associated with are now being influenced by the energy of Pisces. And some people won't be able to cope with that. We might see a rise in escapist behaviours. Drug taking, drinking, video games, possibly. Anything that stops people dealing with the reality of the burden outside of them. But for those who are open to the message of healing, and it is there, and open to the idea that the future could be something other than what we are told it will be, this decentralization that I was talking about before, and how you seem to be the guide to the decentralization. Well, I mean, like, you're the epitome of a decentralized energy, right? You can start really influencing the way that people think because you have a visibility that you did not have before. When people are burdened and people are feeling overwhelmed, and people are coming to each other and they are at odds with each other. Pisces is the energy that settles all of that down. And this could be on a big scale, and it could be on a little scale. But look at the crowd of people. You're shining this month. Because the energy of control does not work for people anymore. The energy of capitulating to some overarching ruler does not work anymore. This is what's changing. This is what's ending. This is what is transforming. As ever with you, Pisces, I'm really struggling to find the words to articulate what I'm feeling here. Sometimes I feel like words are inadequate to try and portray what it is that I am feeling when it comes to you. But this is such a profound month. It's like you've been getting ready for it anyway. Like I said, this powering up that I'm feeling is just really, really strong. Like you're really stepping into your own here now. This is an energy that you know how to navigate, and you do it very well. But the difference is, now people need it. Now people are open to it. Things are changing. And everybody needs to be reassured that they are changing for the better. And that process of changing for the better starts with them. And it starts with their interactions with the people that they spend time with. And it all revolves around this idea of a decentralized community where everybody is taking ownership of their own emotions and realizing that there is more that pulls us together than there is that pulls us apart. And it's this energy here that is telling everybody to divide. And you feel to me like the counterpoint to that. Certainly for this month, Pisces. But the initiation of this energy is profound. It's going to wash everything clean. And it's going to reveal some truths that are going to be very, very difficult for people to handle. But there you are, with this incredible healing energy that you can bring to a situation, that you can communicate, and people will hear it. This is absolutely extraordinary, Pisces. I've said for years that it really pissed me off when I saw even astrologers, right, but definitely tarot readers, claiming that Pisces had a wishy-washy energy. You are the one sign that floors me every single time. You are the one sign that I cannot fight against, because you just put me out. I'm just like, shit, without my fire, what have I got? I find your energy intimidating. Hands up. I love you. I love the bones of you, all. But I find your energy intimidating. Because it's so powerful. But it's powerful in a way that I don't understand how to wield. But I do understand where it comes from. And I think this month there's going to be a lot of people around you who are, for the first time, truly perceiving the extent of Pisces power and Pisces energy, and finding themselves changed by it. And you're just swimming in the middle of it and just enjoying it. Because it's natural for you. You know? This is really quite extraordinary. You just blown my fucking head clean apart, Pisces. I really hope that I have done any even like a small modicum of justice to this. I feel I haven't. I feel I've woefully under-described this, but I've done my best. trying to describe the intangible, trying to describe the indescribable is a bit of a feat for anyone. And I'm always going to fall down because this is not about my words. It's not even about my experience, to be honest, it's about yours. There's so much good you can do this month, Pisces. And you won't even think about it. It will just happen. It will happen so holistically and so naturally. You might have quite a spring in your step, I think, this month, Pisces. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go over to Vimeo. If this has resonated with you and you'd like to come and join me, you're very, very welcome to do so. We're going to just try and... I'm going to try and struggle to put words to this some more. So if you would like to watch me do that, maybe just laugh at me, you're very welcome to do so. If that's not your bag, that's also fine. The TLDR of it is... I want to say it's almost like everybody's waking up, Pisces. But maybe they're all falling asleep. I don't know. You know, Pisces rules the unconscious realm. This is a month where you get to be able to talk to people on that subconscious level, I think. And maybe that's why words are so difficult, because it's not that kind of communication. I don't know. Massive month though. Really powerful month. And I love it for you. So, know that I love you all very, very much. And I'll see you soon.